Well, that's what Steve Reed had to say, but joining me now is the Reform Party councillor, Simon Evans, who's the Deputy Leader of Lancashire County Council. Simon, thanks for being with us this morning. Of course, Lancashire had a vote last year. It went overwhelmingly to Reform, but there are lots of local councils under the area of Lancashire County Council that are having their votes delayed this year.
They are, and this is on top, Tom. Firstly, thank you for having me on the show. I hope life's treating you well. But this is on top of last year's cancellations as well, which was 5 million people didn't have their right to vote. Now it's 4.5. So we're getting on for nearly 10 million people in 2 years have no right to vote. Now, I've walked around on this planet for 60 years. I've never known elections like this to be cancelled. There's one reason, and one reason only, and that's mainly that Labour are terrified. The people have woken up and they've had enough of this shambles of a government, and they know they're going to get an absolute thrashing.
What do you say to the argument put forward by Steve Reed there, that we've got a strange system of local government, the local councils, the county councils, no one's quite sure which is responsible for which. Merging these councils will make for more efficient government, and in order to merge them, the elections have to be delayed. Do you buy it?
Not at all. Not at all. Yes, we do need a simpler system. Completely agree. There's much different ways of doing that. The reorganisation is a whole conversation on itself, and I think it's fundamentally flawed. But let me give an example. I live in West Lancashire, and I represent West Lancashire. West Lancashire District Council runs the elections for the whole of the county. Now, they can do this within 2 weeks and turn it around. They're very, very good, very professional. They've got nothing to do with the reorganisation. It wouldn't make an iota of the difference of the reorganisation. This is the regressive hard left running scared from the electorate. And it will come back to bite them, because people are angry. I've never known so many people come out last year and vote for Reform in Lancashire that have never voted before. And they're now getting annoyed and frustrated that it's democracy denied.
It is interesting looking at the areas that have selected to cancel their votes this year. In some places, delay until 2028 before people will be able to get a vote. It does seem to match fairly closely with where the Reform Party is polling the highest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're doing an incredible job in Lancashire Reform. In the last 8 months, we've turned the council round. We're one of the best performing in the country now. We're going to have the lowest rise in council tax. And that's because we've got professional people in the council who've worked all their lives, unlike these career politicians. Let's talk about cost. Let's look at this situation with Andy Burnham. If Andy Burnham stands in that election, and I really don't think he'll win, the election for the mayor of Manchester, it will be around 4.7 million. So we can afford to do that, but we can't afford to give local people the vote. It's disgraceful. And they're getting more and more desperate, Labour. I watched Question Time last week. Emily Thornberry, the language out of them is getting more desperate. She was saying about Robert Jenrick's hair getting shorter the more he moved to Reform. It just shows how desperate they've become. And cancelling these elections is just a sign of desperation, and they should be utterly ashamed of themselves. We call it the mother of all parliaments. That's meant to defend our democracy. I have no confidence in this government, none whatsoever, that they are defending our democracy. And the only party that's taken action is Reform. We're taking to judicial review in February. So we're the only ones standing up for true democracy at a local level.
Of course, what the government does say is that by not having these votes this year, money will be saved and it can be put into things like repairing potholes. Do you think that the British public would take that bargain, losing their vote this year for getting some of those dastardly potholes fixed?
No, I mean, there's no price on democracy. If we're a democratic country, if that's what we hold dear, that people have a right to choose who governs them, and remember, we govern at the pleasure of the people, there's no price on that. And for things like potholes, we're doing amazing things in Lancashire in terms of repairing potholes. and reducing it drastically. So there's just no financial argument at all. This is about one thing. This is about Labour being terrified. People have woken up. It's taken a while. I'll tell you now, Tom, I was a member of the Labour Party 6 years ago. And I moved over to Reform 3 years ago because I could see that freedom of speech, trial by jury, cancelling elections, this is the kind of totalitarian government that we have now.
It's a powerful point you make, Simon. Of course, the government would dispute that, but I think everyone can make their own minds up. Thank you very much, Councillor Simon Evans. We should say that the local government secretary, Steve